guys are doing well. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I hope you guys are having a good night. And today we wanted to have an interesting conversation where I wanted to get you guys' opinion. And the big question for today is: Are the Grammys racist? Should black people just let the Grammys go? Why do black artists keep going back to the Grammys if the Grammys are racist? If we're not being treated fairly? And I want to really dissect this. And I want to bring some information and resources to kind of help us understand the answer to this question. And so, somebody that I would love to talk to this kind of topic about is Miss Tiara KJ Williams, aka Miss Black Hollywood, who is right out of LA. How you doing today, T?
Trying to stay dry. We have a little storm outside that is, you know, sweeping us across,
Ooh,
sweeping across the nation. But yeah, we're trying to stay dry over here. But I'm good. How's
that's
that?
what I heard. I heard that y'all got some crazy weather out there. That's
Yeah.
bananas.
It's
That's
been
nuts.
raining for like 5 days straight.
It never rains in Southern California.
They
But that's a
lie.
lie.
They
Why
lie.
didn't? Why would you make a song that's just a lie? But I don't think that song accounted for climate change.
Right. And it used to, and we were in a drought for a really long time.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you. Do you know? I don't know. I mean, just speaking of climate change, do you know that the scientists now want to create a new category for hurricanes? You know how the category 5 used to be the biggest category before, right?
Hmm.
Now they said that the storms have gotten so severe that they need to create a category 6.
Wow.
Yeah. They said that the categories we have now are not big enough to handle the storms that we're getting because of climate change. Like we're in big trouble. Like if we don't deal with this stuff, California gonna fall in the ocean. And I'm gonna lose my friend.
I know.
Anyway, I, I want to say hi to everybody. Give me a yes if you can hear us. Okay, give us a quick yes in the chat. Let us know you can hear us. Also, could you help us with this algorithm thing? YouTube loves to shadow ban smart black people, so we need your help. If you could hit the thumbs up button, hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that stuff. Also, if you want to get notifications when we're doing Powernomics training tomorrow night in our daily financial consciousness training that we do every single morning, just text the word greatness to 87948. Text greatness to 87948. I'll send you information. You can join us tomorrow. We're going to be reading Dr. Claude Anderson books so we can learn about our history and learn about our people and learn why we deserve reparations. All right, so let's jump into this conversation regarding the Grammys.
Yes.
First of all, Tiara, and how many of y'all in the chat, as Tiara answers, I want y'all to answer too. How many people watch the Grammys? Give me a yes. Just come on, let's just fess up. How many of y'all watch the Grammys? Did you watch the Grammys, T?
I watched some of the clips. I didn't watch all the Grammys. The Grammys are boring. So I only watch for certain moments.
Well, you
Fantasia,
know what?
like
Oh, God,
certain
I'm sorry, I
moments.
cut you off.
No, I was gonna say just for certain moments. Fantasia, a few other people, but then for the most part, they're a snooze fest.
Well, you know what? Let me just tell you, I watched it for a few minutes because our youngest, she's a singer, dancer, actress, all that stuff. She likes the Grammys, right?
Hmm.
And I don't tell her to hate the Grammys or anything like that. So we watched. I watched a little bit with her, and let me tell you, you know what really made it better? Trevor Noah.
Yeah,
Shout out, Trevor Noah was a great host.
yeah,
Also, they had a interesting seating arrangement. Did they normally seat like that, where they have the like almost like dinner tables
yeah,
set up?
yeah. They've been
That's
doing
the
that for
normal
like a
seating.
little bit.
So they
Yeah.
don't normally do it. So it's not like the Oscars where you have rows of people sitting. Because I feel like that seating arrangement was better, like the way he was in the audience.
Hmm.
I
Well, they
thought
started
that.
that during COVID. Like they would sit people, like group them separately because of masks and all of that. But
Oh,
before it
really?
used to just be regular seating. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate the Grammys. So let me just start right there and say, look, if you like the Grammys, we're not here to tell you that you're a sellout or nothing. I'm not into all that. But there is this fundamental question of whether or not the Grammys are racist. I think a lot of people were bringing this up. Some of it was sparked by that really awkward speech that Jay Z gave. Did y'all see? Did you see the Jay Z speech?
I did.
Yeah, where his daughter's looking at him like, "Daddy, what is happening now?
What's
Like,
going on?
what's going on, Daddy?" And everybody's trying to smile, and they're like, "Well, it's Jay Z. We're gonna be polite because it's Jay Z." But he's kind of stumbling over his words, and it was just weird. Did you notice the awkwardness of that speech?
Yeah, I mean, in general, I think that when Jay gets up, sometimes he doesn't always appear the most fluent in speeches, but I think whatever he's trying to do, he usually gives. He doesn't. He kind of strikes me as the shy kid that kind of gets up and speaks, but is not like the grand communicator. But but I got what he was trying to do. He was trying to defend his wife.
Okay, so that's the big issue, right? I think he was right that Beyonce deserves more than what she's gotten. Like she said, she never won Album of the Year, not once.
Mhm.
And I think Taylor Swift, they've given to her like 85,000 times.
For sure.
Technically, it's 4 times. So she just set a record. And I mean, what do you think about that? What do you think about people? Because I didn't Will and Jada kind of do that whole thing where it's like my spouse did not get a nomination, so now I'm pissed off. I mean, how should we feel about that? Like, why should we care that his wife didn't get the nomination, but she got $1 billion, or she didn't get the award, but she got $1 billion? I feel like that prize is pretty good too. Why should
I
I care about that?
I agree. I think it's just a level of respect, right? Because a couple years ago, I'm not sure what year, if it was 2020 or 2021, but Adele won an award. It might have been even before that. Adele won an award. Actually, Lemonade. Whenever Lemonade came out, Beyonce was nominated. She's been nominated 4 times, like you said. It's one of the highest honors. It's like uh like at the Oscars, like the grand award that you can win, right? So that is what this award is for the Grammys. Because Beyonce is an artist, whether you love her or not, she's kind of amazing at what she does. And I think everybody thinks she should be celebrated as such. And so sometimes when she's losing against Harry Styles and Adele and these different artists who are white that probably don't put in the fraction, like a fraction of work and care into, their projects as maybe Beyonce does. We get to see the documentaries when she's, suspended out of the air and she's still singing and she's birthing kids and she's, like she's nursing children and she's taking care of her husband. Like, you get to see how hard she works. And so, people were upset that she wasn't recognized and honored for it. But I think Adele, what I was going to say was Adele actually got up when she won for 25 and was like, I can't accept this award. I actually want to give it to Beyonce because she deserves it more. So if the
Mm,
person that won the award, who is Adele, and says like Beyonce is my celebrity, so actually I can't accept this. I want to give it to Beyonce.
okay. Well, like what? So what's up with the whole white guilt thing? Like, I mean, do you think she really feels that way? Like, do you like? I don't know of any black people that give their awards to white people and say, "Well, really, actually, you deserve it more than I do." Well, I don't understand that because I've seen that several times where artists will apologize to another artist for getting the award.
Yeah.
What's up with that? I don't understand that.
Well, first of all, you know, we are black people are the baseline for every single genre of music that exists, from house to techno to blues to jazz to we just created everything. And I can speak truthfully because like I went to music school, like we learned music history, like we created everything. So I think there is a guilt in that when somebody comes along and is like, I mean, yeah, y'all created blues, but I'm gonna take it and and make it and become famous. And like Elvis, basically was made it seem like he was the godfather of of blues and rock, but he wasn't. He didn't create it. It's just given to white people. So I think there is some guilt there. Like, sorry, I know you guys created it. You're better than maybe people see you as better. You started it. So sorry that I've come and just kind of taken it from you. So I
Hmm.
think it's some of that.
Interesting. By the way, everybody, I'm talking to Tiara KJ Williams, aka Miss Black Hollywood, and the question for today is: Are the Grammys racist? If you could do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, this podcast is on Spotify. If you'd like to listen on Spotify, just look up my name, Boyce Watkins, and also Tiara's website. I'm going to put it up here. It's realvirtual.net. If you have a business and you want to either get started or go to the next level, they can help you. They can give you teammates, support, all these things that you want to get your business going. So if you want to do a free consultation, doesn't cost you anything, reach out to realvirtual.net, REEL virtual.net. All right. So what I'm going to do is share my screen. Give me a guess if you guys can see this on the screen. This is Exhibit A in the Grammys are racist lawsuit that we're filing right now in the court of Black people's public opinion. And so here's what this was interesting. So Taylor Swift has won more album of the year Grammys than Stevie Wonder. And here are some other artists that she's actually beaten out. I want y'all to give me your opinion as to whether or not you think Taylor Swift has accomplished more than these artists. Number one is Michael Jackson, Prince, who never won Album of the Year, Whitney Houston. She's won more than Mariah Carey, who's never won Album of the Year. Aretha Franklin has never won Album of the Year once. Taylor won it 4 times. Janet Jackson has never won it ever. Taylor won it 4 times. Etta James has 0. James Brown has 0. She has more than BB King, more than Nat King Cole, more than Natalie Cole, more than anybody ever. And so, I guess the point that someone was making, Tiara, is that this is bigger than just Beyonce. This is about
Right.
her this sort of white girl privilege that
Yeah.
Taylor didn't ask for, by the way. I don't think Taylor should be blamed for this. I think she's kind of embarrassed that she's kind of caught in the middle of this racial conversation, but it
I
is
don't
kind of
think
about race, right? When you look at Taylor Swift, you literally see every white girl in her face. Like she really is every white woman.
yeah.
You know, like if
Yeah.
there's a song called I'm every white woman, right? That's
That's
what
the
she
word.
represents. She represents every white woman in America. And then there are lots of other people that are not white that maybe relate to this, but I don't know. I did a survey. I did a survey on my Twitter. My Twitter's Dr. Boyce Watkins 1, Dr. Boyce Watkins, and the number 1. If you want to join intelligent conversations, and I literally asked. I said, "Have you ever listened to an album by Taylor Swift?" And 93% of the respondents in MySpace said no. However, if you were to go into Taylor's world, right? Let's go into Taylor's world, and I'm making a point here, and I want you to feel free to respond on this. If I go into Taylor's world and I say, how many of you have ever listened to a Michael Jackson album? It ain't gonna be the no's won't be 93%. It might be 50% or something. Or if I say, how many of you have never listened to Prince, or how many of you have never listened to a Beyonce album, the numbers would be very, very high in terms of the percentage of people that would listen. So my point is that Taylor Swift, in my view, she dominated financially because white women are 30% of the country, and she's connected with so many of them, plus a few people who are not white women. Whereas Michael Jackson connected to everybody, young,
Yeah.
old. There are people who are big Michael Jackson fans who weren't even alive when he died.
Yeah.
Right? That's so crazy. Taylor Swift ain't got that. She does not have that level of juice.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about this? I mean, how do you even compare a Taylor Swift to these legends?
Well, you can, and it's so funny that you said that. How Taylor feels bad or whatever. I don't think she does. I don't. I think Taylor has learned to kind of play into this and use it as strategy, as brand identity. It started with Kanye jumping on stage, taking her award, and saying Beyonce deserved it for Taylor. Um,
Mhm.
saying that, and everybody said poor Taylor. And I think at first she was like, yeah, poor me, because I was just having a moment, right? And then after a while, she was like, "Yeah, but poor me can be a strategy." So here we
Mhm.
go. We played up like in the
Ooh,
way that white women, not the way white women do. I don't want to sound like that, but
no,
play it up in a way that
the
doesn't
way
make her
well,
look like that and
the way
present
America does.
what
Right,
America.
right. It's not even just white women
Yeah,
doing this.
no.
It's America, right? And this is one of the reasons why I think everybody should join us when we do our Powernomics training, because in Dr. Claude Anderson books, what he explains is that there's a whole history of of literally black people being killed for just making white women uncomfortable. There was a
Yeah,
formal law in the South that said that if you just made a white woman uncomfortable,
yeah,
you could go to jail for that. So you fast forward to today. How many times have you seen a black person or any person get in a lot of trouble because they made a white female uncomfortable? Or he makes me uncomfortable. I know a professor who almost got fired because there's a white female student who said he said something in class that made me uncomfortable. And that used to be a law that I can't, as a black man, go around and say, well, you made me uncomfortable, and then get somebody sent to jail or whatever. So I think that the image of the white female being sort of made uncomfortable by Kanye's assertive behavior. I mean,
yeah,
I can certify Kanye's an asshole. I spent a lot of time on the phone with him. I
yeah,
was uncomfortable. I wasn't uncomfortable. I got pissed off. I got annoyed. I said, "Negro, I ain't talking to you, man. You shut
yeah,
up. You crazy." But
yeah,
but really though, I get it, right? Kanye's not somebody I'm ever going to defend in that way. But but to your point though, it's if you look at it, it's the same energy that people had when the OJ trial happened. It's
yeah,
like, oh my God, this scary black man harmed this innocent little delicate flower of a white female. And
Jonathan
we as
Majors.
a nation got to get up in arms to defend her honor. And I think that's even Obama, even and this is the crazy part, even black men will jump in to defend Miss Sally. Obama jumped in, was like was talking about the incident. I think it was Trevor. No, I mean some other people were like offended that
Yeah,
that Kanye had did what he done.
everybody
It
was.
wasn't appropriate, but I think that damsel in distress routine only works with white females. If that had been a black woman, I don't think the reaction would have been the same.
I agree. I agree with you. It's so funny because we defend, or people defend. First of all, Jonathan Majors. We gonna say that. Like we saw white women running after Jonathan, and literally Jonathan was still the one charged. Like it just didn't. It doesn't make sense. Like I was like, well, there
How
she
you
goes.
gonna make
He's
that
like,
white
where's
woman
the
chase
going?
you?
And he's just
You
running.
scared her and scared her so much that she ran after you. She didn't know
What
which
in the
direction to
world?
run
And
because
still, and
you
still, he
attacking
was
this poor Miss Sally. Go ahead.
and still he was charged. So I think you're absolutely right with that. And I think it's so funny that we defend Taylor like she's a 14-year-old defenseless woman. Taylor Swift is 34 years old. She is grown. She can handle her own. And like I said, she just kind of she lets it's publicity for her. It's great for her brand. It's great for music. Only streams will go up, sales will go up. It doesn't harm her in any way. Us having these conversations around Taylor Swift in relation to Beyonce.
Well, I'll tell you, Taylor Swift, she's working that whole Swifty thing. I mean, she working the whole victim thing because
Yeah,
I remember that whole thing with her and Scooter Braun, her
yeah,
old manager or whatever, how she
yeah.
basically like was like, yeah, I signed the contract and I made the agreement, but he victimized me. He took advantage of me, and they were all like, "How dare you take advantage of little Taylor and make her sign that contract?" No, damn it, you agreed to the deal, and now you're trying to get out of it and you're trying to play victim to do that and not take accountability for your actions. That's
Correct.
mighty white of you. That happens all the time.
Correct.
So let's go back into this whole conversation about the Grammys being racist. So first of all, let's ask that fundamental question: how many of you believe that there is a racial bias at the Grammys? Give me a yes in the chat if you believe there's a racial bias at the Grammys. Okay, and all right. So as we answer this question, I want to do another consciousness exercise. We've been doing financial consciousness every single morning. T, I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah, yeah.
But I ask stupid questions in order to help us come to thoughtful conclusions. I hope that they are. And actually, if you want to join us, you can go to drboycedaily.com. Literally, we do this every single morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. So you can feel free to join us. So let me ask y'all another question. Given that the Grammys, if you believe the Grammys are racist, how many of you, yes or no, put a yes or no, everybody answer this. How many of you believe black people, black artists should walk away from the Grammys? How many of y'all believe black artists should have their own space? How many of y'all believe black artists should just say, you know what, we don't need the Grammys, we're going to go create something else, etc. Like, I mean, how many of you are also getting tired of seeing your legends begging for acknowledgement? I mean, that isn't that weird? It's very weird to me, Tiara, that you have people that are at the highest heights, like literally leaders in the black community, who
Mhm.
are begging white people to notice them, to see them, or begging white people to pay them. Like the big big name actors and actresses, Taraji P Henson, legendary career, has reached the pinnacle of success, but she's still running around saying they didn't pay me, y'all. They did me wrong, And then Diddy, coming back like, well, I'm not getting paid enough. They discriminated against me, but aren't you supposed to be a billionaire? Aren't you supposed to be a boss?
Mhm.
Bosses don't talk like that. I'm the boss of my business, and I don't run around complaining that my employer discriminated against me because I am the boss, right?
Mhm.
So I don't understand what is really keeping us coming back. Like, are we that addicted to the white man's nipple that we need to keep on going back, and that we really are so deeply brainwashed that without their acknowledgement, without their validation, we feel like we just aren't there? Like, do we not believe in ourselves enough? Like, what's going on with that?
Well, I think that we did go off and create our own award ceremony. It's called the BET Awards. And I don't know if you saw the last BET Awards.
Wait, scared records. I gotta scratch the record. You know who owns BT. Come on.
I mean, but we ain't not always on BET, right?
That
Like
that is a good point.
let's
Okay.
I mean,
It should be called the
okay.
Paramount Picture Awards, though. Just the Sumner Redstone Awards. But continue, please. I'm hearing you. I'm
Okay,
gonna let you
so
finish the
I mean,
point,
we
please.
we carved out something and made the BET Awards. We made the Soul Train Awards. We got we have award shows, right? The Grammys is along that stop, right? And I think if you want to work in the industry and want to be recognized in the way that like seen as a world phenomenon, like Beyonce wants to, right? Or Beyonce has done, like she is a world phenomenon, right? You got to go through those channels. You got to go through the music industry. It's to be recognized, and then do Billboard, and then do this, and then do. There's a trajectory. There's a process, right? So
Mhm.
if you want to be recognized in that way, you kind of got to go down that street.
Mhm.
Am I saying that it's wrong? It just depends on what you want in your artistry. What do you want? Right? I make music. I'm a musician. I don't necessarily need a Grammy, but after I put out my album, I might want one, right? Just because I don't know. Like who knows what will happen after a while. But I'm just saying that to say that there's a certain path that you have to follow in order to be a Beyonce or a Michael Jackson. Unfortunately, you have to go through the music industry to get there. And so the Grammys are part of that journey.
Yeah, and what I want people to kind of understand is that sometimes the best way to defeat a system is to not acknowledge a system. It's like dealing with an asshole. You can argue with an asshole and try to win an argument with an ass or somebody who's ignorant, or you can just ignore them. You just not even validate what they're saying at all. That's the ultimate way to defeat something. And I think that when you're talking about the Grammys, you're really talking about an ignorant system. You're talking about a biased system,
Yeah,
and I get it. I understand. If you win a Grammy, you get the validation, but you also get the recognition. You get the money,
the
right? You get
machine.
right. You get access to the machine. Well, who
Yeah,
owns the machine? Who built
right.
the machine? And that's what I want to know. Like, why can't we build a machine? Where's our machine? Maybe instead of spending our time trying to get accepted in someone else's machine, we should do what the Jewish community did and build our own machine.
I
The
agree.
Jewish community built the machine called Hollywood because they had nowhere to go.
That's
They
right.
built a machine called Hollywood because they could not get access to someone else's machine.
Yeah,
So if Black people are going to learn anything from the Jewish experience, I would encourage them to learn how they built that machine. That's why I have all the students in the Black Business School read that book, An Empire of Their Own: How the Jews Invented Hollywood.
yeah,
In case you all want to know, we're going to cover that in our book club at some point. At some point, we're going to read that book word for word, line
yeah,
for line, because I need y'all to understand all this stuff that you see so magical and powerful. Somebody created that. Somebody said, I'm tired of trying to beg you for an opportunity. I'm going to go create my own. They created something. I have so much respect for the fact that they paid the price, they made the sacrifice. They
yeah.
they dug in their shovels and did the work to build institutions that serve their people first. And
Mhm,
and so what happens is that because they serve their people first, they're going to serve our people last. And
mhm.
I'll say this: I'm really happy for my friends that are getting acknowledged. Like we all saw Killer Mike
Yeah,
get a Grammy. My man did a did a sweep, and I just love Killer Mike. Me and
yeah,
him and my wife and his wife had dinner like 6 months ago,
yeah,
and he's a wonderful guy. And he
yeah,
he was at the All Black National Convention. He
yeah,
performed there D1. Who else? David Band. A lot of great people have been through that space,
yeah,
and you have, and so to me, I'm very proud of that. Like I'm like, man, go 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 go, Black man, go. But
yeah,
here's the thing. Here's the thing. The Killer Mike, I would like for him to understand though is, I love what he's doing mainstream. I think it's beautiful. Even The Rock congratulated him on his Instagram page. How cool is that, right? The Rock
yeah.
is making comments on your IG. But the thing was, I knew Killer Mike was a great man before the Grammys ever acknowledged him.
That's right.
I like if I had a conversation with him and I would have said, I get it. I understand you want this validation, but how about you take that energy and put it into something that has a direct impact on your community, as opposed to taking that energy to try to play a game that's not really designed for you to win. Same thing. D1 blew up, got all this recognition the last year. As you know, we had D1 coming to the All Black National Convention 5-6 years ago
That's
because I
right.
knew he was a great man before the rest of the world did, right? And I think that we have to, as a community, be really careful about these false symbols of validation because the cost is too high. A lot of these people literally, I mean, I damn near think that I really believe some of those theories about them selling themselves, their souls, and the whole devil worship. I mean, I think that's possible. I used to think, oh, that's stupid. But the more stuff I see, the more I'm like, well, there really are people that worship Satan. That's
Yeah,
a real thing.
yeah,
I don't know. Again, I'm not saying it happens for sure, but it's weird, right? It's very weird. and I just personally think the price is too damn high. You
Yeah.
know, and so Grammys, Grammys don't mean anything to me, to be honest with you. If I think you're a great artist, I'm gonna make that decision without needing them to tell me that this is what I'm supposed to believe.
Yeah.
So T, all right, so let's dive into another question. I'm gonna show you. Actually, I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna read something to you, in terms of just some arguments about the Grammys. So if you want to look at the history, the Grammys have been criticized for the lack of diversity.
Yeah.
In 2020, only 13% of Grammy nominees were Black.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Black artists make up a significant portion of the music industry, there are a number of factors that can contribute to the Grammys' lack of diversity. I'm reading from an article here. One
Yeah.
possibility is that the voting process is biased in favor of white artists. The Recording Academy, which is responsible for voting on the Grammys, is overwhelmingly white. In 2018, it was reported that only 12% of the voting members were Black. This lack of diversity can lead to a voting block that favors white artists over Black artists. Another possibility is that the Grammys simply do not reflect diversity of the music industry. The music industry is itself more diverse than the Grammys. The Grammys have taken some steps to address the lack of diversity. In 2018, the Recording Academy announced a series of changes to its voting process, including increasing the number of voting members from 13,000 to 18,000 and adding new categories to reflect the diversity of the music industry. However, it remains to be seen whether it's going to work. So what do you think? I mean, do you think that we should be happy that they're making these adjustments? Do you think that that should matter to us? What do you think?
I think that you can do right. I think that it shouldn't be everything, but I think you were saying before about putting our energy towards our community and all of that. I wonder if we could just do both, right? We can do things like for Killer Mike. Obviously, Killer Mike does lots of things that are, he makes lots of contributions to the African American community, right? But, for him getting Grammys and kind of putting his energy that way to be recognized as an artist or to have a certain prestige in the music industry is not, I mean, I just don't see the problem with that. I understand needing the validation. I mean, I understand the validation part. I understand the racism. I understand us needing to create things that are our own, but I don't understand why we can't coexist in that space, right? Like it doesn't need to be like you were saying, like it doesn't need to be everything. It could be something like, okay, I didn't get a Grammy. Cool. Like, okay. But not like it's everything. Like, oh my God, I didn't get a Grammy and I was wronged against Taylor Swift. It shouldn't be a thing, but I don't mind that he was recognized, So I guess the answer to that is, I believe that we can do both. I believe that we can be recognized and be part of both.
I think that's a great point. And by the way, everybody, if you could, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. This is where we have intelligent conversations about the Black community, mostly things that relate to our economics. And this is heavily an economic conversation because if the music industry did not have so much money, you would not see Negroes selling their souls. So that's why we're talking about this topic today. If you could, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'm here with Tiara, KJ Williams, a.k.a. Miss Black Hollywood. Tiara's website is realvirtual.net, REEL virtual.net. And if you have a business or if you want to start a business or you just want to have a consultation with their team, reach out to realvirtual.net because they can actually help you to not just formulate your idea and your process to make more money and to build your business, but also they can give you the help. They can give you the labor, lean on experience. They have other clients. They can bring together ideas that can help you get to the next level. So reach out to realvirtual.net. And also those of you that would like to join us for our Powernomics training that we do every week in the Black Business School. If you want to stay connected and also get profit alerts of stocks that I like, things like that, text the word stock to 87948. As you know, in the Black Business School, we got you. We have a lot of interest in supporting you in your economic journey. So just text the word stock to 87948 if you have not done that yet. Okay, so let me play a video for you, Tiara. This is a video from my wife's favorite singer, India.Arie. I think Alicia fell on the floor when India.Arie started following her on Instagram. So she really has been very outspoken about the Grammys and really said, it's a bunch of BS because she's not your average girl in the video. We know that. And so I'm going to play this video. So y'all give me a yes. Let me know if you can hear India speaking. I'm going to play the video now.
I feel relieved that the Recording Academy is being called on their books. I feel relieved because my journey with the Grammys has been highly politicized. I was locked out of a lot of things. So like the first year I came in 2002, I was the most nominated artist, and I left winning 0.
That's 2002.
And I left being shut out. And I knew it wasn't just that I just didn't get any. I knew that it was political.
What do you mean? What do you mean? How does that happen?
I mean, I think there are a lot of ways it happens, but in general, if I were talking to a layperson, I would say there's a thing called the voting block. And you can put anybody in that voting block you want. You can take your whole record label and go, all right, guys, let's get all 950,000 of us and we're going to go, right? And so it ends up not being about the actual artist community voting for music. It ends up being about the business voting. I think the way that voting happens needs to change. I also think the old guard needs to change. But I think it's the same thing with the Oscars, the same thing with the government, the same things with big corporate America, the same thing with big oil. You know, like it's time for things to change anyway.
Have you seen any sort of positive change recently? Or, I mean, clearly this Deborah Dugan report came out, which she claims that there's misconduct. She claims that there's, like you mentioned, voting.
I absolutely believe her. Because everything she said, I was like, I've been waiting for somebody to say this since 2002. I've been waiting all this time, but when I would say it, nobody wanted to hear from me because I was just complaining because I'm an artist.
Right, and also because you're like, it's easy for someone else to say, well, that's because he didn't win.
He didn't win. Yeah. But I have other friends, many musicians friends who don't win, and we're like, this is not right every year. I know what she's saying is true. I don't know about her personality or if they like her or don't like her, and I don't care because they didn't like some of the men who held that office, but nobody talked about it like that.
Yeah.
I think that she's right, and I know the ring of truth. I agree with her. I'll just say that.
All right, there's India.Arie. Shout out to India for telling the truth. What did you think about what you just said, T?
I love what she said. I think it's absolutely true. I mean, we all remember in 2002 when she was snubbed and she was pitted against Alicia Keys. And it was like, because Alicia Keys is light skinned and she's, she has good hair and all of these things. Alicia swept that year and India felt some type of way about it. But I think having the conversations at the Grammys with a platform is important, right? She could say that from her living room, right? Or she could go to the Grammys and do what Jay-Z did and kind of speak about the Grammys in their face. He was like, let's forget about the Grammys for a second at the Grammys. Like nobody can, so it's like us taking those moments to use the platform and speak against injustice may contribute to change faster than us doing it from home just using on Instagram, so it's so funny that she was having that conversation, but we always talk about leaving and going and starting our own, but it's like, nah, bust up in there and talk about them in their face and get somebody to change things while you're there. Like, let's start having these conversations and really challenge them in their face without it being such a big deal. Because I also agree with you, like, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal, but you guys need to change. If that makes sense. Like, I don't care about it. It's not life or death, but y'all need to change some things in here. And I love what she said about the government, because I feel like that about Hollywood. Like she said, I felt like that about the government. I feel like there needs to be, Cat Williams said this was gonna be the year of truth and change, didn't he? That's what he said on Club Shay Shay. So I'm hoping that this is the year of truth and change for real.
Well, we know a change is gonna come, but I personally still feel like we're barking up the wrong tree. I just really think that if you go into another man's house and you say, I don't like the color of the walls and I want to move the furniture around and I don't like the way you cook, I don't like the fact that you cook dinner at 6:00. There's only so much you can change in another person's house. I think that our lack of emphasis on ownership and our overemphasis on simply being seen is costing us dearly, because what we're basically doing, the more we fight against these institutions, the more we're validating them and acknowledging them. What you're basically saying, is that as a Black person that has value, remember, your labor has value, your time has value, your attention has value, your creativity has value. So when you're up in their face and you're constantly saying, you didn't do it with Jennifer Hudson, you gonna love me. Yeah. No way. I'm living without you. I'm
Yeah.
staying. I'm
Same,
staying. I
same
don't
voice.
want to be
Same voice.
free. I want to be a slave. I want to be your bitch. I need to be your bitch. Right? That's kind of what we're doing. And what it's really doing is having them say, okay, all right, we'll adjust the rules a little bit. We'll let you in. We'll give you some opportunity. We ain't gonna let you control this thing now. We ain't gonna let you really make the bulk of the money because it's our industry, right? We're the business people. We're the ones who run creative artist agency. We're the ones who run Paramount Pictures. We're the ones who are doing the big boy business. But if you want to be on stage because you have nowhere to go, then we'll put you on stage. We'll validate you. We'll pay you some good money, and but we don't want all of y'all. We don't want all the Negroes, right? We now the masses of the Negroes, the masses of Black people, they need to stay over there. We're not trying to fuck with them. But we'll take your celebrities. We'll take the most talented ones in your community, the ones that could do the most, your most valuable assets. We will allow them in the door, right? That's what they do. That's where you get the Black celebrity phenomenon. Black celebrities, I think we can agree, they're detached from the community. How many Black celebrities, how many famous rappers, basketball players, or movie stars have ever gone into the Black community and created like 50,000 jobs or 100,000 jobs? It's doable. Elon Musk has created 1 million jobs for white people. Elon Musk literally is so powerful and wealthy that he literally can put up a statistic where he claimed that he had data to show that Black people have lower IQs than white people. The most racist shit ever. I mean, that's when I stopped. That's when I said, man, come on, dude. I can't support you anymore because this is nonsense. And he's still good. He's still good. He's still got 1 million people that work for him. Jeff Bezos has 1.2 million people that work for him. How many people does Jay-Z have working? What about 20 of his homeboys? Maybe 40 or 50 people, right? How many industries has Diddy built? How much, where's Diddy's automobile manufacturing plant? Where's Jay-Z making rockets, right? They're not. And I'm not saying that there aren't people in the community that are doing this. Though. There are people in the community that have they have that that Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Zuckerberg's skill. But those are not the people that get the attention. Those are not the ones that get the support. We look up to these dumbass artists who literally are not all artists are dumb. I'm not saying all of them, and I know a lot of them. And I mean, you're an artist, and you're one of my best friends, right? So that's some. It's not to say all the artists are dumb, but it's like what really are you doing other than getting on stage and performing for a community that really needs help. They need infrastructure. We need some institutions, and we don't have that. I think because there's a reason why we run it up behind the white man. We're not like think about it. You only chase after things that you deem to be valuable, and somebody put it in your head at an early age that getting on his TV set and in his industry means more than being accepted by your own people. A Black person could literally be accepted by every single Black person in the country but rejected by white folks and still feeling like he has not quite yet made it. Well, I'm doing okay because Black people see me, but they don't see me. So that means I'm not there yet. There's another level. I can go to the next level. What next level? I don't look at my life and say, well, man, I could go to the next level. If I'm in a movie, a blockbuster movie, I've gone to the next level. No, I'm at the highest level because I get acknowledged for being intelligent and being productive in my own space that matters to me. There is no higher level than that.
You know what's interesting about what you just said, Boyce? It's like it made me think of the movie Lincoln. Remember when Abraham Lincoln was like, "I want y'all to go back to Africa," and like all the Black representatives came to the White House and was like, "No, because we built this bitch too, and we want to stay, and we gonna stay." Right? I feel like, and we didn't, and obviously we didn't go back. Right? That's what that made me think. So in a way, ever since then, we've been trying to fight for our piece of this pie that we built, right?
True.
So either way it goes, right? You're saying like we can't walk up in some other man's house, man. I gave him all the money to pay his rent, right? And you walk up in that white man's house and you like, listen, if it wasn't for my talent, you wouldn't even be able to live like this, Clive Davis or whoever. So y'all better put some respect on our names, right? So that's kind of the way I see that interaction. And because of the history of what we face in America, obviously a lot of these systems weren't set up for us. We've struggled through a lot of this just based on American history. We can't help it, right? So that's what I think about that whole like walk up in a white man's house and just say like, we want to be in here too. That's just what I think. Like us trying to we built it too. We did this too. So we should have a piece of this. I want my reparation, right? That's what you're saying. That's what we're all saying. I want my reparation, right? So that's my thought for that. And then also, you said something about, I think it's so unfortunate that artists are receive so much pressure because they are made into celebrities, right? We just woke up wanting to create. Today I woke up and went to the studio and I made songs, but I wasn't thinking like, if I make this song, then what is this gonna mean, and what do I have to do, and who do I have to save, and whose community do I have to? Even though I want to contribute to my community, I do it all the time. I'm just saying, like, that's not at the forefront. All I wanted to do was use the gift that God gave me, right? If your society decides to like lift me up on a pedestal and put me in the forefront, that's not my fault, right? It's not my fault that I'm put the rocket makers up on, put the engineers up on the pedestal, please, and just allow us to make songs and act in movies and do what we gonna do, right? So like, it's just unfair it's like artists gotta just be artists, and they, I mean, I'm not saying exactly what you just said. I understand that, but nobody asked for that. They just took advantage of what society is now. Culture is hip hop, and culture and celebrity culture is just I mean, it's just the way people glamorize celebrities is crazy. It's like nothing I would have seen when the internet started, right? I wouldn't have thought we would have gotten like gossip columns and people like watching every move that a celebrity makes, but nobody asked for that. I don't know even know why we gravitated towards that, but it's not. My point is, it's not their fault.
I do agree with that. That part I agree with 100%. I mean, it's really our decision to decide where we want to give our attention, and I would say that it's kind of a self-esteem issue to decide if we're going to even talk about the Grammys or what the Grammys are doing. I mean, even I could be criticized for even talking about the Grammys right now, right? I would say, maybe to defend myself, I'd say, well, the reason I'm talking about it is because everyone else, the Black community, is talking about it. And I personally think that we should not pay attention to that type of thing, because I think that there's so many great things happening in the community, so many people that are really contributing to the Black community who aren't being acknowledged, right?
Yeah.
Because there's some, goofball celebrity that is in front of them, soaking up all the sunlight, all the energy, and the celebrities doing nothing with it. They're doing nothing productive with that. And so there's a lot of work that has to be done, right? And I would say that if we did not live in America with the brainwashing that occurs on both sides, you wouldn't see so many Black celebrities really trying to chase down, these false symbols of success that exist in Hollywood. It definitely is a self-esteem thing, but it's also an economic thing. I think that an economically healthy community is not really gonna spend all its time trying to sell its soul to get into somebody else's situation. If you got something good going on that's yours, you're gonna focus on that, right? And so I would say that, when I wrote my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, one of the arguments I was trying to make to Black people is your family itself is a multi-million-dollar entity if you pour energy into that. But what you have to avoid is the mistake Dr. Claude Anderson talks about, where he said that back during slavery, the slaves would spend all their time taking care of white folks. They would get up in the morning at 4 a.m. and go make breakfast for the white kids and nurse them all day and take care of them, teach them how, read to them, whatever. I guess not all the slaves were allowed to read, but whatever, take care of the kids all day. And he said, nobody thought about, well, what's happening to your kids? Yeah. What's going on at your house? Their house is clean. Their kids are taken care of. What's happening to your kids? Right. And so I think that to this day, if you look at what we do as Black people, we get up in the morning, we leave our kids, we leave our house, we leave our family to go take care of somebody else's stuff. And we do a good job. They pay us money, but then you come back after your long day at work. You went to go work. I literally knew a Black woman like that, successful, had a college degree, checked all the boxes of that false success that we're trained on. And she would leave the south side of Chicago, like the hood of south side of Chicago, like the work, part of the area that was pretty torn down. And she would drive all the way to the north side where the white folks were. She would work all day long. And then she would come back home from a long day of work and drive right back to her raggedy neighborhood, that was falling apart because all the energy and the time that she and all the other black professionals were putting into this white neighborhood was not being put into their own neighborhood, and I think that is just too eerily similar to slavery for us to ignore that. Like, I think that we can learn something from that. So I'm going to let you get the last word, T. You know what I did? I grabbed, somebody said that in the chat that they think Taylor Swift looks like Little Debbie. So what I'm going to, Little Debbie from the
Yeah.
I'm going to share the screen, and I want y'all to let me know, what do y'all think? If you're listening on Spotify, you won't be able to see this, but those who are watching on YouTube, you can see it. If you also, we are on Spotify, just look up Boyce Watkins and the Dr. Boyce Breakdown. All right, so here we go. All right, this is Taylor Swift, and I want y'all to tell me if y'all think she looks like Little Debbie. All right, so here's Taylor Swift, and here's the image I found of Little Debbie. What do y'all think? You think this is a resemblance? I couldn't put their pictures side by side because I didn't have enough time. What do y'all think? Do y'all think she has the Little Debbie look? I don't know. I probably sound like a jerk when I say this. Honestly, all the Taylor Swifts kind of look alike to me. All the little Karen Swifts. But yeah, so that just sounds so bad for me to say that. But yeah, but anyway, so here's some. The Grammys are interesting too because it's crazy to see all these celebrities. Like, it's like they're fighting for their life, trying to get air in their careers by like dressing outrageously and just really trying to be as creative as they can be. And I saw Miley Cyrus go up there with her old weird raggedy ass. I don't know who's that lady. That's Lenny Kravitz, right?
That's Victoria Monet. Yeah, that's Victoria Monet.
Okay.
Lenny Kravitz and Miley Cyrus.
Thank you. I didn't know who that was. And this is when Jay-Z had his little awkward speech. His daughter's sitting there looking at him like, "Daddy, you need to stop talking. You're embarrassing me." Mm-hmm. And Trevor Noah's sitting here just smiling, and he's probably laughing because Trevor's smart. I think Trevor like probably understands the politics of the Grammys, and he probably understands what Jay is doing. So he's like laughing just to like see, like pretending like the smile. I don't know who's that lady next to Trevor Noah. Do you know what that is?
I can't see her. Half of her face is off.
Okay. So so apparently Oprah and Taylor had a special moment because Oprah's interesting because Oprah has always been the most wonderful like mammy figure in the world. Like I found it really fascinating. I think you have to understand Black history to know why white females love Oprah Winfrey so much. Like they really like, it's almost like they grew up like drinking her breast milk.
Yeah.
Like they really love some Oprah. Like they'll be like, "Oh, I do everything Oprah tells me to do. Oprah tells me to buy a book, I buy the book." And I never understood that. But again, if you guys want to understand the history of this, every Wednesday night we're reading Dr. Claude Anderson books, and he has a book called The Black History Reader, which you can get at powernomics.com, and it explains that history of why the Taylor Swifts of the world love the Oprah Winfreys of the world, why they look up to them, how the slave. The mammy stereotype was so important to the little white girl growing up on the plantation, and this continues to this day. By the way, if you want to join us, just text the word greatness to 87948. If you text greatness to 87948, I'll send you a link where you can join us. All right, so let's keep going. There's Fantasia. What do you think about that? What's your thoughts on Fantasia's performance?
I love Fantasia. I mean, I just think she's amazing. I mean, I that's one of the reasons why I watched it. I love what Fantasia is doing. I think she's arrived. I think she's having her moment, and I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
I'm not mad at it.
You know what? It was interesting to see her kind of like reemerge. It is so funny how the machine works. How you have this person who has been out here famous the whole time, doing their thing, and then suddenly they're just popular, like Usher.
Yeah.
Like for years, Usher just sat there. Like he had that whole little weird lawsuit, over the STD thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like he kind of went into oblivion. And then next thing you know, he's doing his show in Vegas and everybody's talking about it. And then now he's performing at the Super Bowl. Yeah. And I think that what people should pay attention to, just as a consciousness exercise, is understand that a lot of this isn't by accident. Somebody planned this. Like somebody got him into the media. They decided they were going to get his career back to a certain level. Yeah. And if they decide they want to make him into something else, they could do that, right? So a lot of these economic machines, these media machines, which the media and the economics are connected, right? These are people that control billions of dollars. They decide who's going to be hot and relevant and who's not. So Fantasia, congrats to her. That's Jay-Z and Blue Ivy. She, you know what? I feel bad for her because she looks so much like her daddy, you know. But I'm super impressed. You know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say something positive about.
Why do you feel so bad for her? She's beautiful. What are
She
you
is.
talking about?
She's beautiful and she's talented, but she shouldn't. I wish she looked more like her mama. I ain't gonna lie.
She does.
Um,
She looks like a balance of her mom.
she
That little
looks
girl
like a
is
blend of
beautiful.
Jay-Z and Beyonce, but the
I
J
think
should
she's
be
gorgeous.
silent.
I think she's gorgeous.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But she's great though, right? And
I
I
think
love how she's like kind of like claiming her place on the throne. And they
Mhm.
did a good job of kind of giving this display of sort of generational legacy. I think that's awesome. And I think everybody should learn from that. Like that's what you can do with your own kids. Work hard, bust your butt, set up a trust, set up some assets, and then have your child inherit what you have. Have them finish the race for you. So I like what they're doing. I like the fact that they're growing her into whatever she's going to choose to become.
Yeah.
This was interesting. Laverne Cox. Isn't it funny how there's like certain types of black people they love to celebrate?
Mm-hmm.
Like the agenda's really real. So there was Laverne Cox. She was out there, being Laverne Cox.
Yeah.
And so these are some images from the Grammys. Can you name all these people in this picture? That's a little contest for you.
No. I see Doja Cat, who has really made she's made a really weird shift in the last few years. She got her first Grammy a couple years ago and she was normal. And now she's not so normal. I don't know what Doja Cat, the first girl, like she was normal-ish, but now she's really weird. And I think she worships Satan for real. And then, there's the rest of these young ladies. There's Taylor Swift and then I think that's
I just know
Ariana
Taylor
Grande.
Swift
No,
and Doja Cat. I don't know any of these other people.
I don't know. Outside of Ariana Grande, I'm not Ariana Grande. I'm sorry. Taylor and Doja. I don't know these other young ladies. I'm pretty sure I heard their music though. I just don't know who they are.
Okay, I was just curious. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know who these people are at all. I don't.
What's
I mean, I
really
know the first two, but yeah. So yeah. Speaking on that, you're right. That Doja Cat,
Doja
it-
was normal. She was.
it's. I mean, she's talented. Like her little song, she's the devil, the blah blah blah. She's a rebel. She does that song, right?
Yeah.
I said what I said. Yeah, I like that song, right? And I was, I try to every now and then I try to listen to what young people are listening to, just because you got to do that, right?
Yeah.
And I was listening to that song. I was playing like VR golf. I put on the MetaQuest headset, which by the way, everybody should get one. It's the coolest stuff ever. The Apple Pro is like off the chain from what I heard, but the MetaQuest is really nice too. If you're not ready to spend $3,500, but anyway, so I was looking at the imagery in the video, and I was like, why is everything like the devil? Like,
Yeah.
do you think that they're doing that to kind of mess with people, or do you think that it's like legit, like they legit are linking up with Satan, and Satan is like hooking them up with their career and stuff?
I think she is in a really dark place. I'm not really sure what's going on with Doja Cat, but like I said, she is incredibly talented, but she has definitely so there's been some kind of shift. And I don't know what's up with her and Little Nas X and all the devils and gods and twerking and lap dancing on a devil. I don't know what's going on. I have no interest in any of that. You know what I was about to say was interesting is when Taylor Swift first hit the scene in 2008, 2009, I went to a Grammy party and Timbaland was introducing Taylor Swift and Carrie Hilson. And I remember Taylor was little, she was skinny, she was like kind of, she had a little guitar or banjo or whatever she plays with. And she got up and she sang songs. And I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, look at her, little girl. She was just very like, she wasn't obviously Taylor now. And I remember Carrie Hilson getting up and performing. And I thought Carrie was great. But it's so funny how I think at that time they were both entering like artistry in that way. And it's just so interesting to watch how one person has went one way and then the person has went the other. But obviously Carrie Hilson is Black. And, just all of those things. But it's been interesting to see where Taylor Swift has taken her career since 2008. Like, it's been interesting to watch. because she was literally, there was like 3 people just like watching her perform. You know, like it wasn't, you know. So I don't know. I'm a little inspired by that as well. Like the idea, like if you just and this is really just like if you stick with something and build it and do your thing at some point, you know, you'll be little you'll be little Debbie.
Little Debbie. Yeah, it can happen like that. But one thing I think that people should think about though is, and my brother and I talked about this a lot when we first started our business, is we concluded that fame is manufactured. You manufacture fame the same way you manufacture Teslas or tubes of toothpaste or whatever. Like Beyonce is a corporate product.
Yes.
There are lots of people that are talented, people that can sing, people that have catchy, hooks on their songs, and really what drives a lot of this is the money.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that that I want everyone to become conscious of, is that when you really want to see like why certain things shift, why some people become more relevant than others, follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. Remember, these record labels are multi-billion-dollar entities. They spend $1 billion like it ain't nothing, and that is going to go further. If I take $1 billion and I put that behind any artist out here that has reasonable talent, I can make that person the most famous person in America. It's very easy to do. And so don't ever think it's just talent. And I want us to just kind of understand that, so that and I talk to my daughter about it all the time. I just explain to her, like, yeah, if you want to be famous, I can help you become famous. Just make sure you're good at what you do, so we're not promoting something stupid. But yeah, let's go let's study Tyler Perry. Tyler made plays, and he created this character called Medea that worked for him, and that's, next thing you know, he's got this $1 billion empire, and that's really the house that Medea built. He found his hook, he found his audience, he monetized, he understood business, and that worked for him. I wouldn't put on the dress. That wouldn't be the path I'd want to take. But I respect Tyler for understanding more than just how to perform. The performance is just a tiny part of the whole machine.
Yeah.
And I encourage everyone to educate yourselves on the machine. Clive Davis did not. I doubt he spent 1 second trying to become the next Whitney Houston. He wasn't trying to become Whitney Houston. He wanted to manage the Whitney Houstons, and that's what he did, right? So he did that, by going to Harvard Law School and learning business. He didn't do that by sitting just in vocal class, right? So get understand the business side. I think that will help us to understand what it takes to really carve out our space where we get celebrated for the things we want to be known for. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to ask everybody really quick. Could y'all go follow Tiara on Instagram? Her Instagram is Miss Black Hollywood. Tiara is my friend, so I'm gonna ask y'all if you could. This is me just being biased and asking. I think y'all should go follow my homegirl and support her in what she's doing, because she's super dope. She's a cool person. She's very talented. She's got music coming out. She's very well respected in Hollywood circles, and her Instagram is at Miss Black Hollywood. So go follow her. Also, she runs a company called Real Virtual. Real Virtual can help anybody if you are starting that business for the first time to building a side hustle because you want to make more money. I want to see Black people have money so that we don't have to go beg for things. So feel free to reach out to realvirtual.net. They'll do a free consultation with you to help you carve out your idea, to help you take your idea to the next level, to help you implement the idea. And you never know, your next $1 million opportunity could be around the corner if you just take action, or your next $1,000 opportunity could be around the corner, right? Maybe that's where it starts for you. But either way, though, nothing happens if you don't take action. So just take action. It won't cost you anything. Go to realvirtual.net, REEL virtual.net, and do a consultation. If you do business with them, tell them Dr. Boyce sent you. They'll even discount the price significantly for you because you're part of our family. Last but not least, anybody who wants to join us for financial consciousness training, we do that every single morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we have carved out, Tiara, the whole space of financial consciousness, and everybody loves it. Everybody freaking loves it because it's like it was something that just came to me. I got my PhD 20 years ago, and I thought about it. I spent a lot of time thinking about mindset, and I was like, oh, if we just become aware of what's going on around us, how these systems work, what's going on with our money, what's going on with our wealth, what's going on, where the wealth is located, that will really help us get to the next level. So we've been going through my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, which is an Amazon bestseller. I'm proud we published it straight out of our own company, no book deal, no nothing. And I am breaking that down for you every single morning at 10 a.m. So if you want to join us and you want to get access to the community, we have a whole community full of like-minded people you can connect with. You get access to the recordings. You can bring your whole family, slides, all kinds of stuff. Just go to drboycedaily.com. That's drboycedaily.com. It won't cost you much, but it will change your life. So anyway, thank you all very much for hanging out with us. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Thank you, Tiara KJ Williams. It is always an honor. And I want to give a big middle finger to the Grammys. I will not be attending the Grammys. I have no interest in what you all are doing because I'm more interested in what we're doing, because ain't nothing you got going on over there more important than what we got going on over here. Can I get an amen? Put an amen in the chat if you agree. All right. So have a good day, everybody. God bless you. We will see you soon. Take care now.